Used to hearing about all sorts of shortages this time of year, shortages of the latest hot toy, for instance, but this year the shortage is of holiday help. As the holiday shopping season rolls into high gear, you expect to see the stores advertising their sales, not hanging out the help wanted sign. But the Bay Area's booming economy has led to such low unemployment, retailers are finding it tough just to find enough people to staff the stores.
For the holidays, I pretty much double my staff size, go from about 60 to having about 120, and I've got about 50, so just a little more hiring.
Several of the stores at San Jose's Valley Fair Mall are still hiring for the holidays, but they're competing against Silicon Valley's high-tech companies, which are also searching for workers. Kyle Miller knows that all too well. He's a technical writer for a local startup company, but today he agreed to help a store manager friend in need of clerks at Brookstone.
She was somewhat frightened this time of the year that they wouldn't have enough people really to man the store properly.
Do you find that in your other life as a technical writer, that your company is hiring people as well?
Everybody in the valley is hiring.
That means all those workers earning all those paychecks should have more to spend this year. But according to one national survey, the average family in the West will spend about $710 on Christmas presents this year. That's about $100 less than the national average.
Last year I put everything on my Nordstrom's card.
And you're still paying for it.
And I'm still paying for it, exactly, which is probably why I'm spending less this year.
Will you pay cash or credit this year?
Cash.
Still, retailers as a whole are looking for a very healthy Christmas season.
So far, we've been trading up about 9% for the month of November, so we're extremely positive about that.
Year in, year out, Valley Fair is one of the most profitable malls around. In fact, this year, because of the strong economy, they are projecting sales in the neighborhood of $615 per square foot. I'm told that's about double the national average. Dana?
Len, are most of these minimum wage jobs?
Yes, they are. In fact, one way to end that helper shortage is to simply boost the paychecks that they're giving out, and I'm sure they wouldn't have a shortage any longer.
All right, more of an incentive. All right, Len, thank you very much. Well, shoppers who want to save some pocket change might want to head to Redwood City. 200 parking meters there have been covered up for the holiday season. The free parking lasts through Christmas, but if the covered meters attract more shoppers, the city will consider removing the meters permanently. 2 anti-fur protesters are spending the night in a crane at San Francisco's Union Square. It's just one of a series of demonstrations aimed at getting department stores to stop selling fur. Three demonstrators locked themselves into metal sleeves to block an entrance today at Neiman Marcus in San Francisco, and police fired up a blowtorch to remove the cuffs. All 3 of them were arrested.
Ma'am, Neiman Marcus, don't buy fur!
As many as 100 chanting protesters lined the streets of Union Square carrying signs and anti-fur pamphlets. Early this morning, 5 demonstrators scaled a 175-foot crane and unfurled a banner reading, "Fur is murder." 2 people are still on the crane tonight. They say they will stay until San Francisco either outlaws fur sales or Macy's stops selling fur. Well, protesters aren't the only thing to keep an eye on when you're shopping. You have to watch out for the thieves. We'll have a behind-the-scenes look at what police are doing right now to make your shopping trip safer. We'll have that tonight at 6 o'clock. An East Bay armored car guard accused of killing his partner and stealing $300,000 made his first appearance in a Utah court today. Thomas Wheelock was arrested there after a multi-state manhunt. Tony Russomanno is in the newsroom now with the latest developments. Tony?
Dana, police today said Thomas Wheelock confessed both to Oakland detectives and the Utah Highway Patrol. Wheelock remains in a jail just outside Salt Lake City. He's expected to be brought back to Oakland next week. Wheelock was ordered held without bail in Farmington, Utah today after appearing in court for the first time since his arrest yesterday. The hearing took only a few minutes. The East Bay armored car guard is being held for investigation of murder and robbery after police say he fully admitted the crimes to 2 Oakland detectives who flew to Utah to interview him. Police say Wheelock shot and killed his partner, Rodrigo Cortez, late Monday night, leaving his body in the armored car they were supposed to guard and taking the car's loot, $300,000 in cash. Most of the money turned up under the mattress of a Sacramento motel room. Today, police said Wheelock left the money because he mistakenly thought the police were on to him. Police say more of the money was found in the Danville home of Peter York, a former roommate and Wheelock's alleged accomplice, who was arrested and charged with murder and robbery. Wheelock reportedly had about $30,000 with him when he was stopped in Utah yesterday for driving without a license plate. A routine computer check turned up the Oakland arrest warrant. Police say Wheelock began confessing then and hasn't stopped.
I know that folks in Utah have put out some information about there being a full confession and evidence recovered. What I will say is he's made admissions about his involvement in the crime. Evidence was recovered from the truck, and both detectives are on their way back to Oakland now.
Police also said they found 2 handguns in Wheelock's car, including the one believed to be the murder weapon. Alameda County authorities will begin the extradition paperwork on Monday. That process could take a week or more. Dana?
All right, Tony, thank you very much. Well, the California Highway Patrol is asking for the public's help in its investigation of a 54-car pileup on Interstate 680. The crash happened Wednesday in San Jose, injuring a dozen people. Some drivers say they remember seeing a white sports utility vehicle spin out of control, starting that mile-long pileup. The CHP is looking for the vehicle and the person who was driving. If you have any information, please call the CHP. More problems today between Iraq and the United Nations. Coming up next, we're going to tell you why religious leaders in Iraq are upset with the weapons inspectors. Plus, all 7 McCoy septuplets have something else in common today, besides, of course, having the same birthday. And we'll show you how to dial up the latest in telephone technology. It's nicknamed the Virtual Secretary. We'll be right back.
On the next Extra, millions will fly this holiday. You may be one of them, but are you paying more for your ticket than the person next to you?
I'm not going to sit here and discuss or debate this.
The sky-high cost of flying, the undercover story on Extra.
Tonight at 6:30 here on Channel 5.
Next time on Martha Stewart Living. One of the nicest things to serve for a Sunday brunch is an omelet. And it's really easy to learn how to make an omelet if you have the right ingredients. On the next Martha Stewart Living.
Monday at 9 here on Channel 5.
Everything is on sale at Bruner's. Plus, make no down payment, no monthly payments, and pay no interest until $19.99. It's Bruner's gift to you this holiday season. But hurry, the Thanksgiving sale ends Monday. Happy Thanksgiving, Northern California, from Bruner's Home Furnishings. Comfort and style for a lifetime.
Get into action and save thousands this Thanksgiving holiday weekend with as low as 1.9 financing for 48 months on a huge selection of 97 Ford cars and trucks, including ZX2, Escort, Contour, Taurus, Mustang, Aerostar, Windstar, Ranger, Crown Victoria, Thunderbird, and Aspire. This 1.9 offer is good on many of the new 1998 models, too. Take advantage with as low as 1.9 financing and a huge selection. The Thanksgiving sales event for 4 days only ends Monday, December 1st at 9 p.m.
California Action Heroes!
Remember the magical days of the true artisan, where craftsmanship meant something and good times flourished? Well, those days are back at the Harvest Festival, a magical marketplace of crafts, music, food, and fun, all wrapped in the spirit of ingenuity. The Harvest Festival, this Friday through Sunday at the San Jose Convention Center. The Harvest Festival, America's magical crafts marketplace, this Friday through Sunday at the Convention Center.
Wherever you are, you can follow Bay Area news 7 days a week. Just click the news button on the PIX page, the best place in cyberspace.
The best place for news in the best place on earth. Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Iraq is still refusing to allow UN weapons inspectors inside presidential palaces. The inspectors say they have found nothing illegal in their first week back on the job there, but they haven't tried to enter the dozens of presidential palaces where Saddam Hussein may be hiding illegal weapons. The inspectors were sharply criticized today by the Iraqi press for working on the Muslim Sabbath, and at least one cleric was calling for an armed struggle against the United States. Russian lawmakers are drafting rules to make it harder for Americans to adopt Russian babies. The tightening of adoption laws comes after reports of Americans abusing their adopted Russian children. And in the worst case of abuse, a Colorado woman was convicted of beating to death her 2-year-old boy adopted from a Russian orphanage. Russia is the #1 source of foreign children adoptions by Americans. 7 for 7 now in Iowa. The McCoy septuplets are all breathing on their own this evening. Today, Nathan McCoy became the final baby to be weaned off a ventilator. And that means all the babies are now listed in fair condition, although the infants are still being fed through tubes. From medical breakthroughs to technological miracles, a bored television engineer has come up with a new helping hand at the office. He calls it a virtual secretary. Liz Mullen shows us how it works.
What's the passcode?
Tony Castle is an executive on the go. A technology consultant, he spends most of his time on the road away from his office. But unlike other executives, his secretary is always with him.
Hello, I'm Wildfire, and you've reached the office of Tony Castle.
That's because Tony is using a relatively new system called Wildfire. She's an automated secretary of sorts that screens calls, takes messages, even reminds users of important appointments. Wildfire can even act as a telephone operator.
Call.
Call whom?
Sherry Fiesco.
Sherry Fiesco. In her Wildfire office?
Yes.
Wildfire uses the latest in voice recognition technology. She responds to simple voice commands, find a coworker, call, even schedule a reminder.
Should I know the topic for the call?
Yes.
And she even responds to her name.
Wildfire.
Here I am.
Users talk to Wildfire via cell phone or regular phone while in the office. And for people on the go, she's an invaluable part of the workday.
It has entirely made me more productive. It screens all my calls, so you know, when you get that annoying solicitation that you try to avoid, I don't have to deal with it.
Wildfire is the brainchild of Bill Warner, a television engineer who was looking for a new challenge. Using technology similar to the talking HAL computer in the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, Wildfire's makers invented a voicemail system that's much more than a typical answering machine.
Wildfire is essentially an electronic secretary that works with you over the phone and helps you connect to people who are calling you.
And interact she does. While Wildfire can screen calls and take messages, engineers even programmed a sense of humor into her, albeit a dry one.
Tell me.
What?
What does a cow say?
Several telephone companies are looking at Wildfire. They're thinking of offering her services to residential customers as part of their custom calling plans. That means this computer secretary may someday become as popular as call waiting or even caller ID. Liz Mullen, CBS News, New York.
Wildfire.
Well, what if you want a male secretary? You know, technology is amazing, but sometimes human ingenuity is just as marvelous. Coming up next, we're going to show you the contest to determine who is the best gift wrapper in the United States.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Carnell, coming to you live from Jack London Square in Oakland, where a lot of folks are already gathering for the tree lighting ceremony. We'll talk about that, plus your weekend forecast when we come back.